These are the final resting places of legendary Civil War heroes whose actions helped shape the course of American history. Robert E. Lee died on October 12, 1870, at age 63 after suffering a stroke and related complications. He was buried beneath Lee Chapel in Lexington, Virginia. As commander of the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia, Lee became one of the most respected military leaders in American history. His battlefield leadership during Chancellorsville, Second Bull Run, and numerous other engagements earned admiration from both allies and opponents. Today, visitors continue traveling to Lee Chapel to learn about one of the Civil War's most famous figures. Thomas Stonewall Jackson died on May 1863 at age 39 from pneumonia after being accidentally shot by his own troops. He was buried at Stonewall Jackson Memorial Cemetery in Lexington, Virginia. Known for aggressive tactics and fearless leadership, Jackson became one of the Confederacy's most respected generals. His famous nickname originated during the First Battle of Bull Run, where he stood firm against Union attacks. His grave remains a major destination for Civil War enthusiasts. William Tecumseh Sherman died on February 14, 1891, at age 71 from pneumonia. He was buried at Calvary Cemetery in St. Louis, Missouri. Sherman became one of the Union's most influential generals through his famous March to the Sea campaign, which crippled Confederate infrastructure and accelerated the end of the war. His military strategies influenced commanders for generations. Visitors continue honoring a commander whose decisions helped shape the outcome of the conflict. George Henry Thomas died on March 28, 1870 at age 53 after suffering a stroke. He was buried at Oakwood Cemetery in Troy, New York. Known as the Rock of Chickamauga, Thomas earned a reputation as one of the Union Army's most dependable commanders. His leadership helped secure important victories in the Western theater and earned him widespread respect from both soldiers and fellow officers. Historians continue visiting his grave to remember a general known for calm leadership under pressure. Philip Sheridan died on August 5, 1888 at age 57 from heart disease. He was buried at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. Sheridan became one of the Union Army's most aggressive cavalry commanders and played a crucial role during the final years of the war. His victories in the Shenandoah Valley weakened Confederate resistance and accelerated the conflict's conclusion. Visitors continue paying tribute to one of the Union's most effective military leaders. George Armstrong Custer died on June 25, 1876 at age 36 during the Battle of Little Bighorn. Although his death occurred after the Civil War, his fame originated during the conflict where he became one of the youngest generals in Union history. He was reburied at West Point Cemetery in New York. His daring cavalry, charges, and battlefield courage earned national recognition. His grave remains one of the most visited military sites in the United States. Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain died on February 24, 1914, at age 85 from complications related to wounds suffered during the Civil War. He was buried in Brunswick, Maine. Chamberlain became famous for leading the defense of Little Round Top during the Battle of Gettysburg. His courageous bayonet charge helped save the Union position during one of the most important battles of the war. Visitors continue honoring one of the Civil War's most celebrated heroes. Winfield Scott Hancock died on February 9, 1886 at age 61 from complications related to diabetes. He was buried at Montgomery Cemetery in Pennsylvania. Hancock earned the nickname Hancock the Super because of his courage and leadership throughout the war. His actions at Gettysburg helped secure one of the Union's most significant victories. His grave remains a respected destination for military historians. John Buford died on December 16, 1863 at age 37 from typhoid fever. He was buried at West Point Cemetery in New York. Buford's cavalry played a critical role during the opening stages of the Battle of Gettysburg. His decision to hold strategic ground bought valuable time for Union forces to establish defensive positions. Visitors continue recognizing his contribution to one of the war's most decisive battles. J.E.B. Stuart died on May 12, 1864 at age 31 after being mortally wounded during the Battle of Yellow Tavern. He was buried at Hollywood Cemetery in Richmond, Virginia. Stuart became the Confederate Army's most famous cavalry commander. Known for daring raids and intelligence gathering, he provided critical information to Robert E. Lee throughout much of the war. His grave continues attracting Civil War enthusiasts from around the world. Abraham Lincoln died on April 15, 1865, at age 56 after being assassinated by John Wilkes Booth. He was buried at the Lincoln Tomb in Springfield, Illinois. As president throughout the Civil War, Lincoln guided the nation through its greatest crisis and helped preserve the Union. Millions have visited his tomb, making it one of the most famous graves in the United States. Clara Barton died on April 12, 1912, at age 90. She was buried in Oxford, Massachusetts. During the Civil War, Barton risked her life providing medical care and supplies to wounded soldiers. Her service earned her the nickname Angel of the Battlefield and later inspired the creation of the American Red Cross. Visitors continue honoring one of the war's greatest humanitarian figures. Nathan Bedford Forrest died on October 29, 1877, at age 56 from complications related to diabetes. He was buried in Memphis, Tennessee. Forrest became one of the Confederacy's most effective cavalry commanders, despite having no formal military education. His battlefield tactics are still studied by military historians today. Although his legacy remains controversial, visitors continue traveling to his burial site to learn about one of the Civil War's most influential military leaders. James Longstreet died on January 2, 1904, at age 82 from pneumonia. He was buried at Alta Vista Cemetery in Gainesville, Georgia. Longstreet served as one of Robert E. Lee's most trusted generals and played major roles in many of the Confederacy's most famous battles, including Gettysburg and Second Bull Run. Today, historians often regard him as one of the South's most capable commanders. His grave remains an important stop for Civil War enthusiasts. Albert Sidney Johnston died on April 6, 1862, at age 59 after being wounded during the Battle of Shiloh. He was buried at the Texas State Cemetery in Austin, Texas. Johnston was considered one of the Confederacy's most promising generals before his death. Many believed he would have become one of the South's greatest military leaders had he survived. Visitors continue honoring his memory more than a century later. David Farragut died on August 14, 1870, at age 69 from a heart attack. He was buried at Woodlawn Cemetery in New York. Farragut became the Union Navy's most famous commander and is remembered for his legendary order, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead." His victories helped secure control of important waterways and weakened Confederate supply lines. His grave remains a destination for naval history enthusiasts from around the world. George G. Meade died on November 6, 1872, at age 56 from complications related to pneumonia. He was buried at Laurel Hill Cemetery in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Meade is best remembered as the commander of the Union Army of the Potomac during the Battle of Gettysburg, one of the most important battles of the Civil War. His leadership helped halt Robert E. Lee's invasion of the North and marked a major turning point in the conflict. Visitors continue honoring the general whose victory helped preserve the Union. George B. McClellan died on October 29, 1885, at age 58 from heart disease. He was buried at Riverview Cemetery in Trenton, New Jersey. McClellan organized and trained the Army of the Potomac into one of the most effective fighting forces of the war. Although often criticized for caution on the battlefield, his efforts created the foundation for many later Union successes. Historians continue studying his role in shaping the Union Army during the conflict's early years. Joseph E. Johnston died on March 21, 1891, at age 84 after developing pneumonia. He was buried at Greenmount Cemetery in Baltimore, Maryland. Johnston served as one of the Confederacy's senior commanders and led troops in several major campaigns throughout the war. Known for his defensive skill and strategic withdrawals, he frequently preserved his forces against larger Union armies. His grave remains an important destination for those interested in Civil War history. John Bell Hood died on August 30, 1879, at age 48 from yellow fever. He was buried at Metairie Cemetery in New Orleans, Louisiana. Hood became known for his aggressive battlefield leadership and personal bravery, despite suffering severe wounds during the war. He commanded Confederate forces during the Atlanta campaign and later led the Army of Tennessee. Visitors continue remembering one of the Confederacy's most determined battlefield commanders. These heroes lived through one of the most important periods in American history. Their courage, leadership, and sacrifice helped shape the nation we know today.